Hey everyone, how y'all doing?
Hey girl.
Amazing. Hey, Hannah. Hey, Casey.
Hey,
Good. So I
hey.
guess this is the second episode of our Fractional C-Suite podcast. A lot has happened over the past week. A lot to
Yeah.
discuss. But the thing that I feel like we have to start with is rest in peace, the queen of rock and roll,
Mm,
Tina
mm, mm,
Turner,
mm.
passing away. And for me, it's uh I mean, I feel like it touched many, many souls all across the world.
Good.
But my friends actually came and visited me in London in March. We went to go see Tina Turner the musical, and then we actually took a small weekend trip to Sweden, and we had to then watch her documentary. Just we were invested in just how
Right.
much strength and resilience that Tina showed. And really, I guess one of the things that I always take away and be inspired by is that it's never too late to
Right.
step in to your identity and fully embrace that confidence of who you are and take hold of your future. And I feel like
Right.
that's what Tina embodied and showed so many, specifically Black girls all across the world, of taking hold and embracing that future that is yours to take. But yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. I agree. Like when I saw the news of her death, the first thing that hit me was, doing what you really are called to do in this lifetime, right? Like we hear a lot of times, like life is short, and it's usually in the context of sadness, right? But looking at her having lived for 83 years and how much space she took up, and just how many lives she's lived, right? Like you still have chances to get it right or to do it over. And it was Ike and Tina, and it was Tina. Um, and so, especially in the context of business, right? Like we're building something beautiful here, and we can literally have so many chapters, right, within this lifetime on the things we can build and the ways we can impact culture and the way we can take up space. It can be brands, it could be movements, it could be legacies, But yeah, definitely hit me in the most beautiful way, though.
Absolutely. Honestly, millennial speaking here, but my first introduction to Tina Turner was What's Love Got to Do with It with Angela Bassett. I think that was an iconic movie of an icon representing another icon
Yeah.
of our day and age. And I saw I think it was a post made by Angela Bassett, and she said one of the last things that Tina said to her was, "You never mimicked me. You never mimicked me, but you found a piece of Tina inside of you and you showcased that through that role." And I just had to sit with how powerful that must have felt to receive. But also just the weight of that, we talk about legacy and what that means as Black women who are building businesses, that are building brands that we want to outlive us in all the best
Yeah.
of ways. And we don't want it to just be a check on the box of, okay, we did that, but like, what does it really mean? And I think that through that body of work, and then, of course, all the bodies of work that um, Miss Turner produced, like we can really see, like she put herself into it, and like you said, Hannah, you receive that resilience, you receive the audacity for her to take up space, literally a Black queen of rock and roll. Like, I don't know, like I just imagine like what that might have felt like back in that time. I'm sure a range of emotion, but it's inspiring to see, especially as we're going through things, being the first generation X, Y, or Z, um, to have like those models of what that could have looked like in their time and apply it to our time as well.
Yeah. And I agree. And I'm now thinking, when you gave your experience of your first time, I remember my most memorable time of seeing Tina Turner just doing what she does best, of singing and taking up space and dancing. And one of my favorite performances actually was Tina with Beyonce at the
Mm.
Grammys. And even how she presented herself unapologetically big hair and, taking up space, dancing the whole nine. And I mean, it's kind of crazy in the time and space we're in now, whereas, of course, Beyonce is on tour, and even the sentiments of her now expressing or touching, we all now are wondering, like, what's next. But she hinted at the idea of, hey, can't wait to see, or can't wait to show you all what I've been working on, and grounding her work that she's going to eventually show us into the essence of hair, and how it really was a part of her upbringing, being in the salon and just knowing to be nurtured and celebrating her own hair. It mattered. It was home. It was a part of her. And so to now explore the ideas of what's going to develop from that, from her hints of creating something, I think it homes in on that business aspect, Casey, that you were mentioning of, one, not us just having that entrepreneurial drive innately, but that oftentimes it's drawn from our personal experiences and longings throughout our lifetimes. And so, yeah, probably one of my favorite performances I've seen on stage has to be the Tina Turner Beyonce duo at the Grammys.
Yeah. And I get so excited to see Black women more and more, like, living so many lives, within their one lifetime, right? Like, it's becoming less and less common to just, like, hustle in the same vein for the rest of your life just because that's what record labels are telling you to do, right? Or because that's what managers want you to do to keep that money flowing. Like, to see Beyonce go from the group, right, to a solo career despite all backlash that initially came, right, to now teasing us with more product-based things. Obviously, Rihanna has done the same thing on many different levels, right? You have beauty, you have hair as well, you have lingerie, obviously music. Like, I think, and we see this in our peers a lot, like Elon Musk, SpaceX, Tesla, Twitter now, PayPal, right? But we haven't had that level of audacity before to take these risks and say, like, what if, right? Like, to take not just wealth to pass down to generations, but like, how can I take this money I've accumulated and actually put it into a new brand? Because that is equity, like, that is wealth, right? And like, so into people, even so into people, right? Like, how do I swell my good earnings and my space and my influence to invest in other people and make that swell? Toya, I know you were telling us a bit ago about some of the intentional collaborations that B has been making on the tour that she's on.
Yeah, so I actually learned about these through the artists themselves. Designer Brandon Blackwood, he designed this beautiful baby blue gown with the gloves. I'm not sure, like, if the shoes were a part of that as well, but it's such a proud moment for these artists. Danny Lee for the choreography. There's a DJ called Amorphous who created one of the playlist sets for her. And it's just amazing to see Beyonce, among other artists, using such a massive and impactful and influential platform to amplify, like, the work that's been done by these artists, because they didn't just come out of nowhere. They've been doing the work. And I think for her to kind of give them a nod as, I see you, I celebrate you, using that as a collaborative bit with the tour, because all eyes are on B right now. Like, right. Daily we're seeing new content come up from the Renaissance tour, but it's just amazing to see, like, how even different bits and pieces of that monumental production that she's been intentional about using those collaborations and those partners to amplify not only the culture, but these as individual artists.
Absolutely. A business model that feeds and invests in the culture. And that's what we're seeing throughout all of these brands and businesses that are taking over, in a sense. Fenty, and now Beyonce. And even though it's a world tour of concerts, still there is a business model behind it. And it's not only for those like me who buy a ticket, but it's also investing into the culture while uplifting that business model that is, in her case, concert. But I'll give my feedback, my thoughts when I see the tour coming this Monday. I'm so excited. you know, that's going to be my treat after my exam. So stay tuned. I'm so excited for that. So I'm one of those consumers who bought a ticket, but really being intentional about not only just thinking about who's going to buy or receive or, invest in that sale, but also investing in the culture while developing and producing and creating and serving. It matters, and it's showing that it's effective. That's what we're longing for. It's effective. So, yeah, it's powerful stuff.
It is. And it's accessible, right? Like, I think, and what you're saying, Hannah, I think about Issa Rae and how she said time and time again that she did not knock on Tyler Perry's door, nor did she knock on Oprah's door. She said, I reached across the aisle to my homies and I was like, y'all, let's do this. Like, that is so important to do today. Like, partnership equals scale, period, right? Like, if I can reach double the audience because I'm talking to you and your homies, right? And I didn't have to pay for those ads and I didn't have to figure out how to go viral, right? In 1 second, in one decision, right? We can double our exposure if we can figure out how to scale from there, right? And bring in other people. And that's what Issa Rae did, I think it's important for us to be mindful of that even before we reach high heights, right? So many times, like, we're afraid to share our ideas, which is foolish. And not saying we are fools, right? But it's coming from this mindset of scarcity. Like, we're afraid to share our ideas because somebody might steal it when there are billions of people in the world. But we do know that we won't reach billions of people. Like, we know that part, but we're still like, but still, right? I think the more we can reach across, share our ideas and get feedback with our peers who are also ingrained in the culture, right? Who also use products and services that we want to sell and give us very real feedback, right? Who can, barter with us and we don't have the cash, man. Like, those things are so important for the bootstrapping founder, and even those who aren't bootstrapping. I was reading a report really recently from Black Women Talk Tech. It's called The New Face of a Founder Report. Y'all check that out if you can get your hands on it. The New Face of a Founder. It's talking about how Black women more and more, we still scratching, right? We're still struggling to get investments, but our businesses are the ones that are accelerating the fastest. They're starting to show more and more signs of sustainability. But one stat in that report that's really interesting for me is that 91% of Black female founders have side hustles. 91%. Like, that means only 9% of us, right, have businesses that self-sustain, right, from us just selling our golden ticket profit or product, right? And I talk to y'all about this all the time, how, I just can't wait for the day that, a lot of these tech products that I believe a lot in as it relates to scale can take care of everything, but until then, we do things, right? We do things where we're trading time for money to fund the business in absence of investments, right? In absence of angel investors. And I oftentimes rush that process. Like, I rush, me wanting to get there, but seeing what my sisters are doing, and having somebody tell the story. Big shout out to Black Women Talk Tech. Having somebody to tell me my story, right? It just reminds me that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, that we are exactly where we're supposed to be, and we're doing all the right things because 91% of us actually have side hustles that fund the business, right? And we got to just keep banding together. So I want to give a quick shout out to all of the Black women-owned targeting companies, I'd say, maybe Black women-owned serving companies that have helped me along my journey. Black Women Talk Tech, of course, Black and Brown founders. Big shout out to y'all. Digital Undivided, y'all are super dope, and iPhone Women of Color. All 4 of those groups have definitely bridged me to other founders when I would have been isolated in the beginning of my journey, in the middle, and the current. And thank you for always reminding me that I'm not alone and that I'm not on this island doing stupid stuff. That we are actually super fire and we are the new faces of founders.
I love that. Casey, a word that you said that really stuck out to me as you were talking was it being accessible. And I believe that piece of accessibility is what is going to be so disruptive with Blaze, because We are essentially decolonizing the way we do business. We're decolonizing the way we do business. And instead of all this gatekeeping, by way of the jargon, by way of, not having access to the capital or even to the resources that are financial, mentorship, those sort of things, it is so disruptive for us to come in here and say, you know what, like, we really believe this should be accessible to all without you having to prove that you're worthy or deserving of it. And the bit about Issa Rae and her reaching across the table, that is accessible. Like, that is so accessible to us. And to really see that as a viable option to get where we need to go, because not everything about the way that we do business or not everything about entrepreneurship is linear. Like, we want it to be, because, we like our up to the right graphs. That's our progress, but it doesn't always present itself in that way. So I really love, especially here at Blaze, and us kind of changing the conversation, but also disrupting this entire system of how we do business, so that it is self-sustaining for us as human beings, but also sustaining for the models that we are creating to be still here beyond us taking up space in this lifetime.
Ashe. Man, like, that's so real, Toya. We are decolonizing pathways to success. Like, period. Like, give me any industry, give me any goalposts, you know what I'm saying? Like, give me any list that we've cared about prior, right? And we are decolonizing that entire pathway. Like, I think about the number of women who are still rocking with us after 2 years because there are just that many patient options that are accessible to them. Like, they know the office hours are going to be there, even though they enrolled in the course a year and a half ago. Like, they know the Monday co-working session with good music is going to be there. Like, they know the summits are going to be there. They know we're going to respond to their emails. Like, they know they can have a booth in the Blaze Virtual Summit after being a speaker a year ago. Like, it is powerful how accessible, and because you don't have to win an award to rock with us and to be on our platforms and stages, like, and the stages are so important. Full circle moment back to the B, collaborating, with Black-owned businesses. Like, Tyler Perry talked about, and he was right? Like, y'all were waiting for a seat at the table, but I was building my own, right? Blaze is building stages, though. yes, we're gonna make sure we good, but like, we are building stages that pull Black women up from the crowds and the sidelines and the streets. Like, man, like Hannah had said a statement the other day that was like, our research is digestible from the hoods to the boardrooms. And I'm like, yeah, say it with your chest. Like we gonna speak in terms that Black women understand, because we already dope, like, you're already dope. It's just affirming you and helping you to like connect dots, right? It's like therapy. The feelings were real. Like, they were always real. But without the vocabulary, you couldn't get it out. It was just stuck on the inside. With the vocabulary, oh man, it's a whole other story, So I just feel that so deep.
As you are. You're an entrepreneur. You have that drive. As you are. So, yes, it's powerful.
Well, y'all, we appreciate you for rocking with us for episode number 2. We will come back at you again and again and again and again. So definitely hit the subscribe button if you have not already. I am Casey Ariel. Pretty cold in finance, if I do say so myself. Toya is the guru in all things operations. And Hannah is the brilliant mind in strategy. If you need any help or assistance from us, if you want us to step into your executive team, visit blazegroupllc.com/fractional C-Suite. That's blazegroupllc.com/fractional C-Suite. We out.